Thanks, Jim. It's an honor to be here with these distinguished fellow debaters and with this group. We have two basic energy problems in the United States, two basic energy systems. One is transportation, which is 96%, as Karen said, oil-fired, fueled. The other is electricity, which is about 51% coal and the rest a mixture of gas, hydro, and nuclear, a little bit of renewables. Today, these are not really connected because we only use about 2% of our electricity comes from oil. So oil isn't a player in the electricity market. These problems today are very different, and we need to approach the oil problem and the coal problem with different tools and with different ideas. Oil is a problem for us both because it emits about 40% of the carbon dioxide that our system emits, and also because it's a serious national security problem. Tom Friedman, in his new book, High, Flat, and Crowded, has a chapter called Fill Her Up with Dictators. It's a good line, because 8 of the 9 top exporters of oil in the world are autocratic kingdoms or dictatorships. Only nice Norway, as a democracy, is in there among odd company. We, by shipping well over $1 billion a day at last year's rates overseas, are funding such things as certain types of madrasas, schools, let's say, in the West Bank of Palestine and in Pakistan. Little 8-year-old boys are being taught to hate, to want to be suicide bombers. If you wonder who is paying for that, who's responsible for that, who's paying for those things to run? Next time you're in a filling station, before you get out to get your credit card, turn the rearview mirror just a couple of inches so you're looking into your own eyes. Now you know who's paying for those little 8-year-old Pakistani and Palestinian boys to become suicide bombers. We have to move away decisively from oil. We have to do to oil what my sometime writing colleague Annie Corn calls turning it into salt. Salt was a strategic commodity until the late 1890s, early part of the 20th century. When salt finally was replaced by electricity for freezing meat, it was no longer the only way to preserve meat, and its strategic importance was destroyed. Salt's still around, probably had it on the dinner table tonight. Are we salt independent? Do you care where it came from? Of course not. Just a useful commodity that's used in international trade. But nobody knuckles under to his neighbor anymore because he has a salt mine. That world ended at the beginning of the 20th century. We need to end oil's strategic importance as quickly and as decisively as we can. Electricity and producing it cleanly is also important. We'll get to that at a later point in the discussion.